Hey everyone, it's Vera Wild, and I have a product review for you. This is something that I've been meaning to try for a while, and it is a bra, but it's not just any bra. This is a pocket bra. Meaning that it actually has pockets built in to allow you to put a breast form in it. So rather than simply putting on the bra and just having sort of the breast form rest in the cup, which depending on what the breast form is made out of, it could slide around, it could end up not exactly where you want it to be. This actually basically makes it part of the bra. So it's very useful that way. You know that your breasts are going to stay put. So this particular one, and I got this off Amazon. I'll have a link in the description for it. So you'll get, you need to know your bandwidth and have a good sense of what cup size fits the breast forms you have. I don't know if this is particularly typical among these pocket bras because this is the only one I bought, but the actual opening is quite small. So this is how big the cup is. That's how wide the opening is. So whatever breast form you're using, it needs to be pretty pliable. So like at this point, I have 4 different sets of breast forms, and one of them I flat out cannot use in this, and that's sort of that's my biggest forms, my D's. They are the most solid. They bend the least. I mean, they have a nice feel to them, but they won't squish small enough to be able to be crammed into this. So you do have to go with something that is a little bit more pliable. So in terms of options, if you're going with something nicer, this is actually a case where I think the triangle shape works best, and this is a shape I don't usually go for. Personally, I prefer the teardrop, but in this situation, for something like this, it actually works quite well, and I think it's probably the best shape for it. Now, another option, you can also go with foam, but there's something to keep in mind with this, which is that, and there are a lot of them are like this. I did confirm that it's sort of semi-transparent. It's not full-on transparent, but it's enough that the intention is that it's going to look like the breast form is your skin showing through. So if you're going with foam, it means it looks like you have yellow skin. Well, that's assuming anyone's actually going to see you in your bra. Being aware of what your activities are, that may or may not be a concern for you at all. But if someone is liable to see you, or if you just want to be able to look in the mirror and feel like you're seeing yourself as opposed to something that you've just strapped on, you probably want to go with something flesh colored. And it's not particularly difficult. It does take a little bit of work, as I said, because the opening is as small as it is. Let's see if I can get this all in a reasonable amount of time, or if I'm going to have to do a time lapse, which I might. Here we go. Oh, all right. So kind of get it in. And then once it's in, sort of reaching in and making sure that it is properly spaced and filling the whole thing out. And there we go. And just to compare, empty, full. And, if you have a nice quality breast form, it has that nice feel. It has the weight to it, so it does feel more genuine. And I'm actually been quite pleased with this. I have actually worn it. A lot of the things that I buy, that I do as sort of product tests, I will use often enough to know for certain what my feelings about it are. A lot of them are not things that I end up using that much later. This, I've used this a number of times. I've been quite happy with it. So Definitely as a concept, these are great. This specific one worked very well. As I said, I'll have a link in the description for that. So if this is something that you've been wondering about, again, I do recommend having a decent quality breast form to put into it. But assuming you already have that, because with the translucency, this is something you'd want to stuff with sort of the more do-it-yourself breast form solutions, or even like the really low end, the foam. So assuming you already have a decent quality breast form, this is quite nice. So that's about it. So like I said, there's a description in the bottom, and that'll about wrap it up for this one. So thanks so much for watching, everybody.